Warning: Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
In this crooked game of power politics here in America, the Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal, and white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, welcome back to another broadcast. First and foremost, I got to thank our brother Black Truth United, as well as our sister Black Spider, for your Cashapp donations for the last broadcast. I just saw it after the broadcast was over with. So I want to give you your B1 salute here early. Much love to the both of you, and your contributions is always appreciated. Thank you. Now, family, we got to talk about Chicago. We got to go out and drop in on Mayor Brandon Johnson, because we ain't spoke about Chicago in a while. And there's a lot of things happening out there. Mayor Brandon Johnson's out there really putting it on thick, to say the least. Pause. So I want to take us there today and talk about a few things. And of course, we got to talk about, what happened over the Labor Day weekend. So before we go there, as always, got to give a shout out to the room. So a Shalom B1 salute to our family. Reparations Nation in the building. Much love to you. Our sister Aquarius Minded in the building. Much love to you. As always, our brother DSB is in the building. Shalom and B1 salute to you. And I appreciate you giving out the memberships, my brother. Much love to you. And thank you for your contributions, and your contributions is blessed tenfold. I appreciate it as always, family. Much love to our brother Eddie Foster. Sibyl is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Felicia Haywood is in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here. Zavon Scott is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, as well as KK Speaks. Much love to you and thank you for being here. Our sister Andrea Jones. Much love to you and thank you for being here, my sister. Let's see here. Our sister Donna C is in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here. Of course, our brother Black Truth United is in the building as well. Much love to you, brother, and thank you for being here. Oh, our brother Antithesis is in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, as well as our brother Tater Man. Much love to you and thank you for being here, my brother. But I want to make sure I got everybody here. Our family Retro Gemini is also in the building. Much love to you. A B1 salute to our brother DSB. Thank you for your contribution, family. Your super chat is most definitely appreciated. And like I said, your donation is blessed tenfold. And as always, I appreciate your contribution. Our brother said, not Brandon the Coon Johnson. Yeah, we got to talk about the Cooner. We got to talk about old tap dancing Johnson. Or BJ, even though he ain't as good as one, but we gotta go there. And have you guys noticed that Brandon Johnson, if you switch around his initials, you get JB Prisker? Well, you get JB, you can throw the P on there too. Two of the same folk. That's just what I've been thinking about. Much love to you, family. All right, let's go here, family. Because I want to take you before what this man was doing on August the 30th. Brandon Johnson decides to sign an executive order forbidding CPD from working with ICE. Now, I thought Chicago was already a sanctuary city. So why he would need to sign an executive order to say that, tell them not to work with ICE, that's kind of weird to me. I wonder, but he did it. For me, I feel like it was just about the optics of it. He just wanted to get up there and, give his grandstanding speech. But I want to go here so we can take a look at it. Salute to our sister Mia Kim, and a B1 salute to our brother Antithesis. Thank you very much for your donation, family. Your contribution is also blessed tenfold and appreciated as always, family. Let's go here. I want you to hear what he had to say about this.
Start by saying this. I do not take this executive action lightly. I would have preferred to work in a more collaborative approach. I would have preferred to do the work with our allies in City Council to pass legislation ultimately. And we were doing that. We were doing just that. But some of the leaders who we are working with are standing behind me today. But unfortunately, we do not have the luxury of time. We have received credible reports that we have days, not weeks, before our city sees some type of militarized activity by the federal government. It is unclear at this time what that will look like exactly. We may see militarized immigration enforcement. We may also see National Guard troops. We may even see active duty military and armed vehicles in our streets. We have not called for this. Our people have not asked for this. But nevertheless, we find ourselves having to respond to this. Let me be absolutely clear. Although we believe the reports we have received are highly credible, this is an erratic, impulsive administration, and it is not always possible to understand and know exactly how he will move. He could change his mind. He could reverse course. In fact, I encourage him to do that. But still, we take these threats seriously, and we find ourselves in a position where we must take immediate, drastic action to protect our people from federal overreach. I'm signing an executive order today that will launch the Protecting Chicago Initiative. This is a project that builds on the months of preparation that we have done that has led up to this very moment. Protecting Chicago will ensure that every Chicagoan knows their rights, that every single family is prepared, and every part of city government is directed to protect the people of Chicago from federal action. This sweeping executive order directs our Department of Law to pursue any and every legal mechanism to hold this administration accountable for violating the rights of Chicagoans. This order affirms that the Chicago Police Department will not collaborate with military personnel on police patrols or civil immigration enforcement. We will not have our police officers, who are working hard every single day to drive down crime, deputized to do traffic stops and checkpoints for the president. This order affirms the CPD officers will be directed to wear CPD uniforms and refrain from wearing masks so that residents can clearly distinguish them from federal agents. And finally, as I said, it establishes the Protecting Chicago Initiative, the most sweeping campaign of any city in the country to protect ourselves from the threats and actions of this out-of-control administration. We will protect our Constitution, we will protect our city, and we will protect our people. We do not want to see tanks in our streets. We do not want to see families ripped apart. We do not want grandmothers thrown into the back of unmarked vans. We don't want to see homeless Chicagoans harassed or disappeared by federal agents. We don't want to see Chicagoans arrested for sitting on their porch. That's not who we are as a city, and that's not who we are as a nation. My team and I have spoken with the governor, the county president, and with our federal delegation, and we are in complete alignment. The time for action is now. With that, I will sign this executive order and then return for follow-up questions.
All right, family. So that's what he had to say. That was his whole spiel, you know. And like I said, I already thought Chicago was a sanctuary city, right? Am I wrong about that? If I'm wrong, please let me know in the chat. But I did think it was a sanctuary city already. So I don't understand why he needed to do this whole song and dance. I think that what he was trying to do was rile people up to, you know, become angry because Trump is threatening to send National Guard in there or whatnot, you know. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm on the fence about that whole situation there. I don't think that Trump should be using National Guard threats or whatsoever. I think that if they're going to well, let me rephrase that. I don't think that he should be using it under the guise of cleaning up crime, right? There's other ways to do it. But I think that there's going to be something that he switches his way up. Let me rephrase that. I think he's going to end up switching up his his strategy. I'm sorry, family. I'm having a brain fart moment. I don't know why, but it's been a long day for me. Let's just leave it at that. But I do think that he's going to end up switching his strategy at the end of the day on some things. But what we're going to see is a lot of people getting kind of riled up to do what they did in Los Angeles. That's what I'm thinking, right? Where he's going to send ICE in because they're already gearing up to send ICE in. They already stated it several times over. They already found a location where they're going to create a headquarters and everything. So we know that they're getting ready to move in the city of Chicago. So I'm thinking it's going to be more of those type of protests and raids and things like that. That's going to do what LA did, where they're going to be getting violent and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden you're going to see National Guards coming in like they did in LA. Just my thoughts on this as of right now, because there's a lot of stuff that we're going to get to. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead because Brandon Johnson, he's been on some stuff. This is what I'm saying. At least one person, hold on, let's go here, because he speaks about not wanting troops and they asked him, well, do you want federal funding? Would you like some federal funding to help with the troops that, or help with the problem of crime in Chicago? And Brandon Johnson said this.
Would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked about the other things you want, and I said those are good and important programs, but I'm asking also, would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone. Of course, we want more detectives.
I know it's not policing alone, but I know it's not policing alone. You've told me everything else you want. I'm curious, and this does come down to an ideological difference between people. Do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets of Chicago?
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, affordable housing. Look,
okay, that's not the question I asked. My question is,
family, this man can't answer the question for nothing right now. This man is babbling his ass off. Look, I gotta, and this is his thing. This man will never answer a question directed to him directly, right? You can ask him, hey, Brandon, the sky, is it blue? Or is it purple? And he's going to go all saying, well, I was told to don't go chasing waterfalls. Just listen to the rivers in the lake like you used to. And you'd be like, what? That's Brandon Johnson. He does not answer any type of questions. He switches the whole narrative about everything. A B1 salute to Black RU. Thank you for being here, family. As well as our brother Still Kevin Trees. Hey, when you get an opportunity, Kevin, do me a favor and shoot me an email, because I'm setting up a broadcast and we're going to do a little recap of what we saw the other day, me and our brother Jesse, and I'd love for you to put your input on that, family. So when you get a chance, shoot me an email. And also, shout out to our sister Crystal Watson. Thank you for being here. Much love to you. Let's let this dude continue.
Yes or no, do you believe the streets of Chicago would be safer if you got all of those other extraordinary programs put back into place, which do have a history of being successful, if that's complemented by having 5,000 more cops on the streets of Chicago?
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, Joe, is what I'm saying. That is an antiquated approach. I'm saying we've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, you hearing what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you that all of these other social programs are extraordinarily important. I just need a yes or a no, and then this will be the last time I ask. If you get all of those other social programs that 800 million that New York City does, Los Angeles, other people do with great success, would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply putting out an arbitrary number around police officers is the answer. What I'm saying is policing and affordable housing. It's policing and mental and behavioral health care services. It's policing and youth employment. It's a full package. Of course, we want to make sure that our police department is fully supported. That's why I've invested in our detectives bureau, because what we have seen in the city of Chicago, when we solve crime, it acts and serves as a deterrent. It's policing and all of the other efforts that we're doing. Here's the last thing that I'll say to that. The federal government could work stronger to coordinate with my police department to get guns off the streets of Chicago. We've seen these coordination efforts work. Just a couple of weeks ago, the ATF working with my police department, we removed over 150 guns off the streets of Chicago that were trafficked in through Mississippi and Indiana. No one is saying that police officers don't play an incredible role in driving safety. They play an absolute pivotal role in that. But we have asked law enforcement to do too much. Police officers are being asked to be social workers, counselors. What I'm simply saying is, if we're going to build safe and affordable cities across America, the one thing that safe communities all have in common, they invest in people. We have a poverty issue in the city of Chicago and cities across America. Police officers alone will not put food on the table. Police officers alone will not guarantee a high quality education. Police officers alone won't drive down unemployment. We need all of it. The president of the United States of America and the federal government could restore Medicaid. They could restore SNAP. They could stop defunding our public education system. Here's the most important point here. Justice Brandeis, over 100 years ago, the first Jewish American.
Translation, family. Give me more money for these illegals. Help us fund the problems that we have, because, you know, they're in a huge deficit because of Brandon J. That's all I hear when I hear this man babble like that. I hear, yeah, police, it'll help, but give me money so we can take care of these illegals. Don't you see I'm in debt? Don't you see the state of the man? I can't believe y'all remember when this man was running around here talking about, because I got a black family and I got a black wife and a black kids that I got to take to baseball practice. I got a black dog and a black cat. This man, he's all over the place. Salute number one, Switchblade. But there was at least one person that I found that was actually happy about what Brandon Johnson had to say. I'll give him the opportunity to show his love.
Mayor Brandon Johnson, MVP Mayor Brandon Johnson, signed an executive order today telling CPD, don't collaborate with them. Don't work with them. Don't work with ICE. Don't work with none of them. That's what I'm talking about. Tell the great orange decay to go somewhere. Preferably hell.
Now, family, I don't know if he's one of those paid operatives or not, but he seems very excited not to have, CPD working with ICE. But I'm going to be honest with you. He seemed like somebody who likes to dip inside the taco. So I wouldn't be too surprised by that, to be honest. But after all that, I guess Brandon wasn't really getting any type of traction. So then he went out and he started talking about reparations. Oh yeah, I BS you not. He's talking about a call for reparations. But guess what? He can't just talk about reparations on his own. No, he got to tie everything and everybody into it. Let's go here.
I believe we can call for Black liberation and reparations and not cause harm in this globe the way white supremacy has caused across this planet. And anybody that would fall victim to that type of ideology, well, then maybe you need a little healing yourself. And that's okay, because colonization is real. I think one revolutionary said that somebody would stab you in the back with a knife and pull it halfway out and call it progress.
Nigga, please.
Now, although that quote is correct, coming from you, Brandon, I wouldn't trust it as far as I can throw you, which is not that far. Not that far. Whatsoever. But why all of a sudden are you talking about reparations as a serious situation, calling, press conferences to make sure people know that we can attack the issue of reparations? I'm just wondering, because you've been talking about illegals, aliens. Now all of a sudden, you're super pro reparations?
I believe we can call for Black liberation and reparations and not cause harm in this globe the way white supremacy has caused across this planet. And anybody that would fall victim to that type of ideology, well, then maybe you need a little healing yourself.
Family, do you think that he's trying to gear up for a governor's run? That's my question to you all right now. Do any of you think that he may be trying to hit different avenues because he may be trying to run for governor while JB Pritzker trying to run for president? I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case here. Salute John's son. He's a panda bear, huh? Oh, salute to our brother Leonard Day Yuta in the building. Much love to you, family. Much love to you. Salute to our brother DSB. He said them bootlicks in the crowd is eating it, eating that BS up. Exactly. And he ain't saying nothing. Really, he's saying the exact opposite of what we would want to hear from him or what we would want to see. Let's be honest. We don't want to hear about you talking about how we can get reparations. We want to see your actions as mayor instituting policies in the city of Chicago that benefit foundational Black Americans there. We don't care about the words that's coming out of your mouth. Show us by using your action. And he's not doing that whatsoever. But he's trying to get people to support him because he knows he's going to lose this fight. This is just the truth. And the little people that he got behind him, we don't even know if they're there organically. Let's just be honest. Let's keep it plain. Now, family, let's talk about this Labor Day weekend. Unfortunately, I got to give my condolences out to anybody who lost a family member there in Chicago. I got to give my condolences out to anyone who was hurt or wounded in Chicago. Yeah, so let's go here.
Good evening, and thanks for being with us and spending part of your Sunday here with CBS News Chicago. I'm Marie Saavedra. We begin with a breaking news update on what was a violent night for Chicago police. 5 women and 2 men were hurt in a mass shooting that was right outside of police headquarters. Our Sade Gray explains that wasn't the only incident.
A mass shooting happened right across the street from the Chicago Police Department headquarters parking lot. The cleanup process is now underway. The city's street sweepers clean up a mess that resulted in several people shot.
We got somebody hurt down this way too.
Fire crews also called out to clean up blood-stained cement. Police say 7 people were shot in the 3500 block of South State Street, just around the corner from Chicago Public Safety Headquarters, around 11 Saturday night. Police say a vehicle with multiple men inside went down the block, and at least one of the men opened fire on a crowd. And Curry heard the gunshots.
All this, they lit up on that side just like Christmas time coming. These cars just lit up. They were all behind each other. All these shooting. I'm thinking the 4th of July.
All 7 people were shot and taken to the hospital in good condition. A few hours later, police say 3 men were shot in the Pilsen neighborhood. They were standing outside in the 1900 block of West 17th Street when someone came up and shot them all. 2 men were shot in the leg and are expected to be okay, but a 46-year-old man was struck multiple times in the body and died.
Only person shooting, probably 6 people have been shot. Nothing further.
So far, 5 have been killed and 31 people hurt during this Labor Day weekend. Over the past 2 years, violence has gone down for the holiday. In 2023, 8 people were killed and 41 were hurt. Last year, 5 died and 26 were injured. Third Ward Alderman Pat Dow says in a statement, "We need to properly resource communities like ours in the Third Ward. I have long asked for additional police manpower to deal with large illegal gatherings and pop-up parties that routinely occur throughout the Bronzeville neighborhood." No one has been arrested in any of the shootings over the Labor Day weekend. Reporting in Bronzeville, Sade Gray, CBS News, Chicago.
Thank you, Sade. The alderman also says that she pushed for the city to close problem businesses and inspect short-term rentals like Airbnbs that may have been having illegal parties.
So it looks like the alderwoman out there is actually requesting help from Mayor Brandon Johnson, and Mayor Brandon Johnson is nowhere to be found. And so you have issues like this happening because the alderman is requesting services and you're not giving her those services. Brandon, what's going on? If you're saying that Chicago is safe and everything, right? If you don't need the help of anything else, of anyone else, excuse me, or from anyone else. You know what, my brother Black Truth, that is a good question because I actually was thinking the same thing. I said, you know, this is very convenient that this would happen after Trump was, you know, talking about sending the troops over there for crime. And then all of a sudden this happens. But then in the article, it was talking about how this is like a ritual on Labor Day for some reason. They talked about 2023, it happened, and in 2024. So, you know, that's I can see it both ways. You know what I mean, my brother? I'm on the fence about that. Salute to our brother Christopher Ellis. Thank you for being here. Much love to you, and thank you for your Cash App donation. I'm sorry, your super chat donation, family. I appreciate you, and your donation, family, is blessed tenfold. Thank you for your contribution, as well as salute to our family, Ellie, excuse me. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. She says, it was really upsetting because they paid to have their gathering at that park off of Cottage Grove. Excuse me. Give me 1 second. You got to forgive me, family. I ate right before I started this. Right off Cottage Grove and had to leave early. Yeah, I seen the video of them at the park when it was happening. Somebody actually recorded it saying we all got to get down, and you can actually hear it in the background and you can see people running. I was going to include that, but I thought it would be too triggering, one, and then also I thought it would get my channel flagged. But yeah, I saw that video, and that's really messed up. I think they were having like a soccer game or something like that. But yeah, that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. Let's go to this clip here, family.
A deadly Labor Day weekend in Chicago as President Trump continues to set his eye on the city, threatening to send in the National Guard as early as this week. At least 52 people have been shot in Chicago over the Labor Day weekend. 7 of those victims died.
The violence included 3 mass shootings that happened at Haddon in California, in Chicago's Humboldt Park neighborhood, and 2 in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood, 35th and State and 36th in Cottage Grove. ABC 7's Jasmine Miner talked to people in Bronzeville about concerns about 2 mass shootings happening within 48 hours.
Many here in Bronzeville describe the neighborhood as on the come up, and they say they're not going to let the violence stop the positive work they're doing. For one woman, that means keeping kids healthy, active, and on the field.
We're gonna push through because it disservices the kids.
Alexis Hawthorne, owner of the top-tier university football youth program, says even gun violence won't keep her from serving kids in need. Their practice comes just a few hours and down the road from a mass shooting early this morning. 5 people were shot near 36th and Cottage Grove near Ellis Park, including a 17-year-old who was in critical condition.
At the end of the day, to have one person that was critically injured and 4 folks in the hospital, whatever the situation was, it was senseless.
It is the second mass shooting in Bronzeville in the last 48 hours. The other happened on Saturday night near 35th and State, where 7 people were hurt during a drive-by. Those like Alderman Pat Howell are taking action, telling ABC 7 in a statement, "I have long asked for additional police manpower to deal with large illegal gatherings and pop-up parties that routinely occur throughout the Bronzeville neighborhood." It follows Mayor Brandon Johnson signing an executive order this week to avoid the Trump administration from sending the National Guard into the streets of Chicago.
Us as people, we can come together and fix it out on our own. We don't need no one to come here and, wreck check our community.
Others think the troops could help.
I got kids, and I want to see community better. I run every day out here. I exercise out here. So for the street to be safer, I think it's really good.
But Hawthorne says her football program does just that. Teaching kids a healthier way to have fun.
We're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that these kids have somewhere to come.
Alderman Lamont Robinson tells ABC 7 that Chicago police do have 1 person in custody from the shooting this morning.
A deadly labor.
Well, that's good to hear. They got at least 1 person in custody. That is good to hear. Maybe he'll turn on the other ones and they'll get them all in custody. But family, I got to make a small little disagreement with the sister here. Now, I understand what she's saying, where she's saying we could fix our neighborhoods. We don't need people coming in from the outside. I'm gonna be honest with you, my sister, and I really have to say this. Although I can see the pushback and I get where you're coming from, let me also say this. Those kids are the place where, the mass pum-puming happened on Labor Day. That was an area where kids were playing. In the very same way where you have your program that gives these kids new opportunities and things like that, that program, I'm sure, does the same thing, and it did not stop that pum-puming from happening. So, in order to stop that pum-puming, there needs to be more addressing of the matter. Whether or not Trump brings in National Guard or anything like that, I'm meaning specifically, you need to get with Mayor Brandon Johnson then and force him to give the proper resources to the alderwoman that she needs and to help her get these things taken care of. Let's be very clear about that, because if not, all you're doing is, I don't want to say you're doing it in vain, but these children are still in danger. That's just my opinion on it. Some may like it, some may not. I'm just saying. It doesn't make any sense for you to say your program is stopping it, but it happened to other children. A 17-year-old was injured. So let's just look at it from that perspective. I know sometimes it's hard to remove yourself from the situation, but sometimes you got to. Salute to our brother DSB. He said, just my opinion, but these shootings sound staged for Trump to send in the military to Chicago. Yeah, and like I said, I can see it from both sides. And I at this point in time, I just can't make a definitive decision. I need more information, just in my opinion. But Brandon Johnson actually came out to address this situation. But when Brandon Johnson came out to address this situation, do you know what this dude did? He tried to actually place the blame on a whole nother state. Let's go here, family. Let's go here. Oh, let me pull this down for a second. Let's go here. Shout out to the sister right here because she wasn't having it.
I know you done lost your damn mind.
State of Illinois. These guns come from red states. They are coming from Indiana. They are coming from Mississippi. They are coming from Louisiana.
So you mean to tell me you are not no neck fucker of a governor had the nerve to do a press conference blaming the trafficking of weapons on everybody else but your ass? Are you serious right now? First of all, there was literally a report not even a month ago, if I'm not mistaken, that was talking about that there were 4 juveniles from Indianapolis, Indiana, that were caught trafficking weapons that they get from Chicago. Why in the hell? Well, y'all are right by the water. When we know and we've heard about the ratchets and the switches and every other weapon that's used to take our people out that's been found in crates that have been dumped in the alleys of Chicago. Indiana may be a lot of things, but we ain't trafficking no damn weapons from here. We may be a lot of damn things, but we're not trafficking no weapons in here. In fact, it's really weird how strict y'all are on weapons out in Chicago. Y'all got a murder rate out of this world because of weapons. Considering the fact that you have literally fought tooth and nail to allow all of these illegal immigrants, as well as those gangs, what is it, Trey Agla, or whatever the hell they is, Christina Aguilera, I don't know what name it is. Considering the fact that you have fought tooth and nail for these people to be prioritized over the citizens of Chicago, knowing damn well that they had reports last year saying that they was bringing weapons over to this country. You mean to tell me you don't think that that motherfucker's coming right from there? You don't think that people come to Chicago to traffic weapons, people, organs? You really want the world to believe that this don't come from Chicago, one of the most politically corrupt cities in the country. Y'all surpassed New York, which is astounding. I'm telling you, this why I don't trust grown ass men with mohawks, with half hawks. It ain't even a full mohawk, it's a half a hawk. You got a half a brain to think that society, this country, and the rest of the world is believing the shit that come out of your weird ass face. Pathetic. This has to be, I don't even live in Chicago and I feel bad for y'all when it comes to this mayor. I'd rather see Lori Lightfoot bubble that ass than to see this motherfucker if I lived in Chicago. Worst black mayor in history. I know Harold Washington is rolling over in his damn grave.
God dang, family. God dang, she roasted that dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. She said she would rather see Lori Lightfoot, the penguin herself, back in office than to see Brandon Johnson. Family, I ain't gonna lie. Maybe I would too. I mean, Lori Lightfoot, I don't know. You know what? I can't even speak to that. I'll leave that to the Chicagoans. To all my family out there in Chicago, please let me know. Who would you prefer? Lori Lightfoot or Brandon Johnson? Yeah, she said half a hawk. She said this man walks around with half a hawk. That threw me for a loop too, bro. Let's go here, family, because, you know, Trump definitely amped up his talking points after the situation on Labor Day as well.
President Trump not backing down on his promise to send in National Guard troops to the Windy City. This is crime there continuing to be a major problem, with more than a dozen homicides happening in the last 3 weeks.
Our correspondent John Glasgow joins us live with the details. John, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to both of you. President Trump claiming on True Social that Chicago is the murder capital of the world, and the National Guard is, quote, going in to the Windy City. Watch.
Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now.
Trump comparing Chicago to Afghanistan. Nearly 60 people shot, at least 9 people killed in Chicago over Labor Day weekend. Dozens of shootings. It marked the most violent holiday weekend of the summer in one of the nation's most dangerous cities, according to the White House. Now, one of the shootings included a drive-by attack. It wounded 7 people. Another where a teenage girl was hit by a stray bullet. Yet Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says that the city violence, it's under control. Watch.
The president's absurd characterizations do not match what is happening on the ground here. He has no idea what he's talking about. There is no emergency that warrants deployment of troops.
So Illinois Democrats, including the former mayor of Chicago, are claiming President Trump is, quote, manufacturing a crisis. Watch this.
If he comes to Chicago, he's going to be in court. And he's going to be sued by.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap. It's the penguin herself. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. We gotta lock in. Hold up. Let me rewind that. I didn't know the penguin was going to make an appearance. You know, we have to. We're going to see right here and right now who's a better choice. Let's see.
Illinois Democrats, including the former mayor of Chicago, are claiming President Trump is, quote, manufacturing a crisis. Watch this.
If he comes to Chicago, he's going to be in court. And he's going to be sued by the state. He's going to be sued by the city. And I believe that there will be private interests that also sue him. This is not about violent crime. And I don't think we should pretend that this manufactured crisis and his attempt to provoke people in Chicago is legitimate exercise of power. It is not.
So President Trump says that his deployment of the national.
Oh, I'm surprised at Lori Lightfoot. You know, she came out there trying to help her fellow mayor out there, huh? Salute to our brother Cool Keezy in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. I'm surprised, but not so much. Like I said, she toes the Democratic line, and that's what they wanted to say. She went out there and said it. You know, what do you expect? So, Chicagoans, once again, I got to ask, who do you prefer? Do you prefer BJ that's worse than a BJ? Or, you know, the penguin herself, Lori Lightfoot? I'm curious.
The guards to D.C. turned Washington into a crime-free zone, so he's pointing to that, where residents can now feel safe in their neighborhoods again. Yet the governor of Illinois claims that sending National Guard troops to Chicago is targeting Democrats, and it's unconstitutional.
Look, big cities have crime. There's no doubt about it. But let's just pay attention to what President Trump is doing targeting Chicago. He's overlooking red states that have much higher crime.
Lori Lightfoot looks like the penguin, but he's wobbling like a penguin. That is hilarious. Just a 2-piece in a pod.
Doubt about it. But let's just pay attention to what President Trump is doing targeting Chicago.
J.B. Pritzker is walking like a pregnant woman. I am amused.
He's overlooking red states that have much higher crime rates.
Okay, what Trump's doing. However, former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich torched Pritzker right here on Newsmax last night. He claims the current governor is failing to protect black families from crime in Chicago.
J.B. Pritzker is the biggest hypocrite in American history, and there's a racist quality to him because this would never be tolerated in the neighborhoods where white people live. I live in a predominantly white neighborhood, some Latino families, some African Americans, but for the most part, predominantly white. We don't have the same concerns here with gun violence and gangbangers like is happening in the south side of Chicago. And, you know, 9 people were shot. I've got updated numbers. 9 people died, 61.
Of course, they got to use us for cover, family. Of course, they got to use us for cover because then they know that, you know, they ain't going to get as much backlash.
Shot this weekend. There were 2 mass shootings where 7 people were shot, another mass shooting where 4 were shot, and that drive-by shooting where another 4 were shot. And there was a case where a 17-year-old girl was sitting in her home on the south side of Chicago, minding her own business, enjoying a weekend night, and somebody was shooting at somebody, and a bullet went through the window and shot her in the leg. In the same neighborhood, another guy was walking the streets, and he got caught up in a crossfire. And he got shot in the leg. Fortunately, neither one of them were killed. But these are the conditions that black people in Chicago are facing every single day. And when J.B. Pritzker can call out the National Guard, like he did last August, a year ago, to protect Democratic donors and Democratic delegates at the Democratic National Convention, he ought to do to protect black people in Chicago.
So you heard President Trump mention that Baltimore.
Hey, this is a good point right here. My brother Black Truth United said he's signaling, don't come to the north side. You stay in those areas where the Negroes are. That's a good point.
Is crime-ridden too. Well, all this is all playing out right now. Maryland Governor Wes Moore, guess where he was spotted? On board George Clooney's yacht on Lake Como. Send it back to you.
Oh, Westmore's on George Clooney's yacht. But we already know George Clooney is really like linked in with the Democratic Party. As a matter of fact, they threw him under the bus the very last election. They threw Clooney under the bus. That's hilarious. But you know, this situation here has made Brandon Johnson very revolutionary all of a sudden. You know, apparently there was a protest out there in Chicago. And listen to what Mayor Brandon Johnson had to say.
Are you prepared to defend this land that was built by slaves, a land that was built by indigenous people, a land that is built by workers? Are you prepared to defend this land? The people united will always prevail. I need you all to stand firm, to stand strong. If this president decides to continue to break this constitution, are you prepared?
Family, I tried to find the full clip of this. I wasn't able to, but I'm sure we get the gist of it. And I just got to say this. You know, the more I hear this man use slavery for everything else outside of us, giving us programs, trying to combat the issues that we face systemically in Chicago. He never uses our history for that. The more I hear him use our history to benefit other groups, the more I'm just so convinced that he is a tether. I'm just saying 100% fold. Every single time I hear him speak like this, in my brain, it's like, man, this tether ass mother lover. Salute to Shabazz American Freedman. Thank you very much for being here, family. Is he a confirmed tether? I'm gonna be honest with you. At this point in time, I'm confirming him as a tether. I'm confirming him as a tether. You guys don't have to confirm him. But like I said, every time I hear him talk like this, yeah, I go by my gut instincts, and my gut instincts say, yeah, this dude is a straight tether, a cosplayer.
To defend this land that was built by slaves, a land that was built by indigenous people, a land that is built by workers. Are you prepared to defend this land?
And all three of those things are redundant. It was redundant to say all three of those things because of the fact that the slaves, we built this land, and we were and are indigenous, and we were the workers. I know you ain't talking about anybody else that came into America after the job was done, after they were already up and running. Yeah, I know you're not talking about the people that came to get some of that Homestead Act. Yeah, you can't be talking about them. So saying all three of those things is quite redundant. But I want to get to this over here because, you know, he over here talking real big, bad, and bold, ain't he? He's, if you're ready to fight for and stand. He's acting like he's a revolutionary. But let me show you what happens when a goddamn news reporter asks him a question and he takes it as a threat. Let's go here, family.
What you're saying is quite threatening. What's quite threatening?
Really?
Can we move on to the next person here?
Mayor Johnson, over the weekend, ICE arrested an illegal alien named Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, who had been released by a Safety Act judge he was charged with concealing the body of a 37-year-old mother of two, Megan Boss.
In April, investigators found the body of 37-year-old Megan Boss in a container on Mendoza Gonzalez's property. She'd been missing for nearly 2 months.
Mendoza Gonzalez was released to his home after his arrest. The charges didn't qualify for pretrial detainment under Illinois' Safety Act.
He had her in his backyard in a trash can
for 2 months and went on with his life as if nothing happened.
Megan's mom, Jennifer, was at the White House last week for a signing ceremony of an anti-fentanyl bill and told the president about her daughter's case. 3 days later, ICE agents took Mendoza Gonzalez into custody for being in the country illegally, and he's now facing deportation.
I hope that she sees that I'm fighting for her.
Jennifer says she's convinced nothing would have happened in her case if it weren't for President Trump.
I am so grateful that he stopped and looked at me when I hollered out at him because I was starting to feel really hopeless about this case.
Megan Bob.
I remember that case when it happened, not the case, but I remember that situation when it happened. I can't remember who was reporting on it. It might have been KG, but I remember when that was happening, and I remember that woman, and it's hilarious that he actually said, watch what happened, and the dude got picked up. But also understand the political view on that, how, you know, he's going to use those optics. Oh, yeah. This dude unalive Joe daughter, just like they used the Lakem Riley situation, right? Now he can use this situation to say that he's for the people. He was doing this for them, right? So I do understand the political optics on that as well. Salute to our sister Andrea Jones. Thank you for your Cash App donation, my sister. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always. She says, wobble, wobble, wobble the penguin, mayor, and the tap, and the tap and bootlicking mayor. These are two hard choices. I'm telling you, two hard choices. Let's let this continue.
A body that had been decapitated, abused, kept in a.
We gotta get to the question.
Yeah, I have a. You know what? I have a constitutional right to ask him a question. I'm a credentialed member.
Notice how they trying to shut him down as he's asking the questions. He's setting the scene to ask a question, right? I can't stand people, right, when you're trying to set a scene, because you know a lot of people don't know about the person by name, right? You have to explain what happened to the person, explain why it's important that we're mentioning this person, because not everybody's going to know. I can't stand when a person want to cut you off. Like, man, just get to the question. If I just ask the question, you won't. Most people here won't even understand the question. Let me set my scene. But I apologize. That's just a pet peeve of mine. My bad. My bad. Let's go back. Let's continue.
Decapitated, abused, kept in a.
We gotta get to the question.
Yeah, I have a. You know what? I have a constitutional right to ask him a question. I'm a credentialed member of the press. I do have a constitutional right to ask my question.
Absolutely, we want to get to your question. And
I'm trying to. If you didn't interrupt me, I would be done with my question.
This is not the first time I respectfully ask you to ask a question.
I'd like to finish my question now. May I? Minibus, decapitated, body abused in a dumpster, in a bleach-filled dumpster on this man's property, right? Okay. You have stated over and over and over again that you don't want ICE in Chicago. If that had been Stacy, if that had been your wife Stacy's body that had been decapitated,
That's not a perfect question. Yeah.
It's very real people. The people of Chicago are asking me to ask you this very specific question. Had that been your wife Stacy, would you want ICE to pick up this illegal alien?
I'm not going to entertain your question.
You're not going to answer. Well, okay. My follow-up question is regarding.
I actually believe that what you're saying is quite threatening. What's quite threatening?
Really?
We move on to the next person here.
Excuse me, but no.
And if you continue to behave in such a way, we'll just make sure that we take the appropriate steps. You are threatening and provocative.
This is a question that the real people of Chicago are asking.
William, please give me the microphone. We ask for respect. We give it to you. I expect
this is a very serious question.
We understand. Please give me the microphone. I do not want to have this conversation. Please have more respect for the office and for yourself right now.
This is a very serious question that the real people of Chicago are asking me to ask.
And I am seriously asking you to show respect for this office and give me the
What
microphone.
about the respect for the real people of Chicago who want this question asked and answered?
We are done, sir. Please give me the microphone. Thank you.
Now, family, I'm gonna ask you, and I would like your honest opinions, as I always get. Do you believe that that was a threat? Do you believe that that was threatening? Because I can see it on both sides how I can look that way. I can see if somebody was being hypothetical, excuse me, and they said, hey, you know, it'd be a real shame if this was to happen to your family member. That sounds like some mob stuff. But from the way that this person asked that question, I don't think that it was like that. Not in that context, right? And you guys are saying no too? Okay. No? Okay. Yeah. I don't think so either. And the thing is, it's a good question. If that was to happen to one of your family members, would you want ICE to go out there and pick up the person who did it? And of course, he don't want to answer that question. He don't want to answer that question at all. Zavon said Brandon punked out. So the our brother Kulkizi, he said, no, I accept all questions and I will answer them accordingly. Real ones done ducking any smoke. We don't duck any smoke. I get you, family. I'm with you. It's easy as hell to answer a question. And I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, I would. To answer the question that he asked Brandon, if somebody was to do something like that, God forbid, and I rebuke that, knock on wood, and everything else, I would want ICE on the streets looking for him like they were detectives in Miami Vice. Y'all better put your heads together. Better yet, no, let's bring back LAPD Blue. I mean, New York Undercover. I don't know. Y'all got to be detectives like that because I need y'all to catch this person. And if you don't catch this person, I'm putting on my vigilante cape and I'm heading my ass up out there to look for him my damn self. So, yeah, that's a very easy question to answer, at least in my opinion. And it seems the consensus here is no, it wasn't a threatening question. But that's Brandon Johnson. So him being out here telling people to fight, 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 everybody's seeing it for what it is. It's just him playing a theatric role. That's what it is. It's him being extra theatric. Politically theatrical. Salute. Salute to Drew Laston. Thank you for your Cash App donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always as well. Family, but the family are out here calling it out. People ain't having it. They don't like the theatrics. Let's go here.
54 shot over the Labor Day weekend, and this clown still spews his rhetoric. And not one of those protesters actually live in the neighborhoods affected by the crime. Play the clip.
Some new details now on a violent Labor Day weekend in the city of Chicago. Since Friday night, 54 people have been shot, 7 people killed. The youngest victim, just 14. Sadly, shootings are up from last year's Labor Day when 42 people were shot, 10 people were killed, according to the Sun-Times. All this amid the president's threats to send in the National Guard to crack down on crime. Even as city leaders say crime is down. This evening, NBC5's V. Wynn spoke with violence prevention groups who are now urging neighbors to step in and help break the cycle.
No federal troops in the city of Chicago.
Look at this clown.
No militarized force in the city of Chicago.
Stupid.
We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago.
All rhetoric.
We're going to protect the humanity of every single person in the city of Chicago.
In Chicago. Everybody got to get down. Everybody got to get down because they shoot.
Oh, that was the video I was trying to avoid playing. Well, since it's playing already, let's continue.
Everybody down. Look, the kids are running.
Jesus.
They shooting. We can't have no fun in Chicago, man. No fun, man.
You can't make it up.
This is terrible.
Cannot make this shit up.
To a goddamn flag. Because this y'all neighborhood.
Chicago. Stop.
This might be over there.
Stop voting for him. Why doesn't he want to defend Chicago against the criminals so that the citizens feel safe? The federal troops are there to protect the citizens from them degenerate ass thugs. Message. He doesn't care about the people. His main job is to be a Democratic blackface to maintain Dems' control over that city so they can maintain their political corruption. To you ignorant ass black folks that prefer the violence, so be it. Give them what they want until they get tired of it. You keep voting for these people. Remember, folks, for more mean tweet commentary, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Find me on Facebook and X. It's CraigLong45, and I'm on Instagram.
None of that. Yeah, family. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, whether it's a situation that is put on or staged or not, I can't say at this point in time. I don't put it beneath anybody whatsoever. But the way it's becoming politicized, that's what makes me think that it's definitely staged. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. The way that they're sending out people like this to actually But like I said, when we were talking about the people getting paid, these influencers and stuff like that, I'm not, when I said it wasn't just the Democrats, I'm sure, you know, many of these people may have been getting paid too, including him. Because like I said, it's getting way too politicized rather than it being talked about as a situation that needs to be helped. Excuse me. Salute to our sisters at Tasting Teas with Tony. Much love to you and thank you for being here. That dude is tripping. Exactly. Yep, absolutely. Let's go here, family.
No troops in Chicago. No troops in Chicago. Invest in Chicago. Invest in Chicago. No troops in Chicago.
That was Mayor Brandon Johnson in Chicago, who somehow happens to be an even worse mayor than Lori Lightfoot. And we all thought Lori Lightfoot was as bad as it got. Brandon Johnson is breaking new uncharted territory in the land of bad mayors. Zoran, you got your work cut out for you. But this is also the crowd that was there to watch him do his no federal marchers in Chicago speech. Are you noticing anything about this crowd? Because I am. Seems pretty unseasoned. Meanwhile, this is the list of all the shootings that happened in Chicago just over Labor Day weekend. The red ones are the fatalities that happened. So Brandon Johnson seems like he could use all the help he can get, right? But leftist logic says that they would rather rule over the ashes than accept help from someone like Trump, because it would prove that their policies, their soft on crime policies, their crime is just a social construct policies, aren't helping anything, aren't improving anything, and are actually making things worse. I keep telling black folk, stop giving away your vote. Stop allowing the Democrats to take you for granted. Stop allowing certain grifting politicians to just go, you know what, I've got their vote anyway. I'm going to take this office and I'm just going to benefit it for myself. And I'm not going to do a thing for the people who got me there, because this is actually exactly what's going on here. Brandon Johnson, as mayor, hasn't done a single blessed thing to help out the people he says he cares a lot for in Chicago. Oh, and New York. I'm reading the 8 Ball. I'm reading the beans and the oil and all the fortune telling stuff. I'm reading all that. That's what's coming your way if you elect Zoran. But hey, listen, maybe it'll work out, right? Maybe all the hugs and warm fuzzies that they want to give out to the criminals will actually take hold. Maybe. Zeke Arkham, got your 6. Bye.
This dude said, I'm reading the beans and the oil and all the fortune telling stuff. Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, family. Like I said, it's getting way too politicized, but I got to give it to this brother here. You know, he's on that Chicago flip red train. So I know that, you know, the brother's actually, he's talking more about Brandon Johnson overall and the Democrats in Democratic states and things like that. So it isn't just him being that influencer that looks like that dark money is being handed to, if that makes sense to you. That's just my opinion. But I want to give a shout out to this sister, because she's just going to call it out for what it is too.
It's getting on my nerves.
Are you prepared to defend this land that was built by slaves, a land that was built by indigenous people, a land that is built by workers? Are you prepared to defend this land?
Now, he stood there and did all that hooting and hollering, enticing people to commit violence. Now, let's see what happens when Chicago turns into LA. Remember all that madness? His ego has definitely got the best of him. The fact that he thinks that he doesn't need any help is beyond me. The fact that the people of his city are crying out for help because they're tired of losing their loved ones to the streets, and he is not doing anything to correct those issues, is crazy. That city was bamboozled into voting for that man, thinking that he was going to make a change. And look at it. No changes at all. He doesn't even respect the voices of the people in his city.
I am speaking right now, so I would love your undivided attention, please. I'll wait. So this just proves to you the lack of leadership that you show in this city. You can't even give me straight eye contact. Now, I'm going to let you know now, the people of Chicago, we're done with you. It is insane how we have been voting Democrat for over 60 plus years, and we've never seen a change from people like you, Lori Lightfoot, Robbie Manuel. It is insane. Chicago was 37% red. In 2020, it was only 15%. So we're waking up. So you can pretend that this isn't happening, but I know for a fact that you will not have that seat the next election.
But yet he's demanding respect for himself. He doesn't want anybody else stepping on his toes. The citizens of Chicago are speaking up. Their voices need to be heard because they're the ones who have to live in those conditions, and it's not fair to them.
And I agree 100% fold. All the voices of Chicago should be amplified. So when they come out and they do press conferences, those are the voices that should be amplified, not Mayor Brandon Johnson with these fake statistics and these fake crime stats and these whatever. You're diminishing the voices of your city, your constituents. And if they're saying there's a problem then you should be listening. And I'm not just talking about with this Trump sending in the military situation or anything like that. No, I'm talking about specifically people like your alderman who's asking you for resources and you're ignoring her. These issues could be addressed if she can get a little, backup, and you're not even doing that. You're having people come to the town halls and things like that, and they're telling you what's going on, and you're not even giving them eye contact. Man, I don't know if I can be that mayor, that type of person who lives with a mayor like that, because, at that point in time, I might give him a couple of cuss words his way, like, you dirty. Never mind. Let me just shout out to our brother Cool Keezy. He said, for every co-op Democrat influencer, there's a Republican, one to remix the post. You're absolutely correct. Every post that they do, for every single post they do, you're going to have one of those Republican influencers doing a response video to that post. So honestly, the influencers could be working together like the left wing and the right wing of the goddamn political system. Instead of two wings of the same dirty pigeon, they could be two legs of the same dirty ostrich. Just a thought. Shout out to our brother Cool Keezy. Cyber Wars, exactly. Oh, family. Let's go here to this brother real quick.
So it looks like Democrats are slowly starting to walk away from their ridiculous nonsense, especially in the city of Chicago, where after this past weekend, residents have clearly had enough. But for some reason, there's one politician in the city of Chicago who just acts like he just doesn't have a clue, like he's blissfully unaware, like everything is fine. That person is Mayor Brandon Johnson, who at this point is just trying to fight for the title of who's the worst politician, him or Gavin Newsom. Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. Gavin Newsom, he still got bro beat, but this dude is clearly getting up there with his ridiculous bullshit. 7 people were killed just over the weekend, and Mayor Brandon Johnson acted like he didn't see any of it. I just saw another video where people were at football practice, and everyone had to get down and duck and shit. The people of Chicago are tired of living like this. This is bullshit. But if you let Mayor Brandon Johnson tell it, oh, everything's going fine, it is all Trump's fault. This is Trump's doing. No, this is not Trump's doing. This is incompetence. This is your doing. The people of Chicago are over this. You are corrupt. Tell it like it is. You're getting that payola. Let's talk about it. The position that you hold is not deserving. The people of Chicago have spoken loud and clear. They want you gone. Your incompetence level is insane. God bless those people who lost their lives, man. And God bless Chicago. I got family out there, and they're sick of this bullshit too.
Like I said, family, I feel like this is a play. I do. I really do feel like this is a play. And to be honest with you, I'm not the only one that feels that way. Like I said, I had to find, it wasn't too hard to even find anybody who's even taken it from that perspective. Although, I don't know if he's politically tied with the Democrats or not. I don't know. However, let's go here.
So now it's imminent that, Chicago is about to get the ICE treatment. Los Angeles got a few months back. And I'm going to say they're about to use the same blueprint they used in Los Angeles, where they came in and then, ICE started conducting their raids. They set up their facilities. And, Chicago going to have the same blueprint. They're going to use the same blueprint. ICE going to come into Chicago. They're going to conduct their raids, set up their facilities. I already believe that they stated that they found the building where they're going to set up the facility to process, the illegals they capture. And then, protesters going to come in, and then you might get the rioters, protesters, and then Trump going to send in the National Guards to assist with ICE in, them conducting their raids, enforcing the law. And, that's going to be the lead way to the National Guards coming up in there and, holding it down. And hopefully it doesn't get as bad as it got with Los Angeles. Los Angeles, they had to send in Marines. I think they sent in about can't really recall, but I think they sent in about 500 Marines. But they got the job done, But this is unprecedented. And it's imminent now, so it could happen any moment. It could be happening. I think they're setting the stage now. It could start tomorrow. It's going to be another wild month. Hey.
And like I said, family, it's more like I kind of feel that's more likely, and it probably would have been better if Trump would have did it that way rather than sitting there trying to make it seem like it's just all about crime, to be honest with you, because really it is targeting. But that's neither here nor there. Let's be very clear about this. When they get out there, you know who they're looking for. They're looking for your Pedros. They're looking for your Juans. You're looking for your Marias. They're looking for your Beatrice or whatever else other illegals that, you know, who will and may be caught up out there. You know, so I look forward to that. I do. I look forward to seeing what ends up happening. It's going to be very, very interesting. Lastly, I want to go over this press conference with you guys that JB Pritzker and Brandon Johnson had speaking about the situation. And this was the clip that they were playing on the side when they were talking to Lori Lightfoot, the penguin herself, you know. So I wanted to go over that clip and see what these folks had to say. Let's go here, family.
Chicago and Illinois. I'm going to do my best to share what we know as of today and speak frankly to the people of Illinois. Rumors have been swirling about what the White House has planned, and sifting fact from fiction has been increasingly difficult because Donald Trump's administration is not working in coordination with the city of Chicago, Cook County, or the state of Illinois. I want to take a moment at the top of my remarks to note how truly extraordinary it is for the federal government to refuse to coordinate with local law enforcement and government. Our state police.
Wait a second, JB. At the beginning of this broadcast, I played a clip of Brandon Johnson signing an executive order stating that you guys wasn't going to be working with, matter of fact, we're going to go back here. Hold up.
I do not take this executive action lightly. I would have preferred to work in a more collaborative approach. I would have preferred to do the work with our allies in city council to pass legislation ultimately. And we were doing that. We were doing just that. But some of the leaders who we are working with are standing behind me today. But unfortunately, we do not have the luxury of time. We have received credible reports that we have days, not weeks, before our city sees some type of militarized activity by the federal government. It is unclear at this time what that will look like exactly. We may see militarized immigration enforcement. We may also see National Guard troops. We may even see active duty military and armed vehicles in our streets. We have not called for this. Our people have not asked for this. But nevertheless, we find ourselves having to respond to this. Let me be absolutely clear. Although we believe the reports we have received are highly credible, this is an erratic, impulsive administration, and it is not always possible to understand and know exactly how he will move. He could change his mind. He could reverse course. In fact, I encourage him to do that. But still, we take these threats seriously, and we find ourselves in a position where we must take immediate, drastic action to protect our people from federal overreach. I'm signing an executive order today that will launch the Protecting Chicago Initiative. This is a project that builds on the months of preparation that we have done that has led up to this very moment. Protecting Chicago will ensure that every Chicagoan knows their rights, that every single family is prepared, and every part of city government is directed to protect the people of Chicago from federal action. This sweeping executive order directs our Department of Law to pursue any and every legal mechanism to hold this administration accountable for violating the rights of Chicagoans. This order affirms that the Chicago Police Department will not collaborate with military personnel on police patrols or civil immigration enforcement. We will not have our police officers, who are working hard every single day to drive down crime, deputized to do traffic stops and checkpoints for the president. This order affirms the CPD officers will be directed to wear CPD uniforms and refrain from wearing masks so that residents can clearly distinguish them from federal agents. And finally, as I said, it establishes the Protecting Chicago Initiative, the most sweeping campaign of any city in the country to protect ourselves from the threats and actions of this out-of-control administration. We will protect our Constitution, we will protect our city, and we will protect our people. We do not want to see tanks in our streets. We do not want to see families ripped apart. We do not want grandmothers thrown into the back of unmarked vans. We don't want to see homeless Chicagoans harassed or disappeared by federal agents. We don't want to see Chicagoans arrested for sitting on their porch. That's not who we are as a city. And that's not who we are as a nation. My team.
All right. So he said that he signed the executive order making sure that they wasn't going to be working with ICE. They're not going to be working with any federal agencies. So why then? And he's talking about we don't want to see any grandmothers. You talking about you don't want to see any grandmothers? No, what you don't want to see is any abuelas. You say homeless people? No, there is no homeless people out there. When that you're talking about, you're talking about the aliens, the illegal aliens, and they're not homeless. Those are the people that you don't want to see get tossed away. But back to what I was saying, because I digress. Why then is he saying that they are refusing to work with Illinois and the city of Chicago? This is some nonsense that like right in our faces, though. After he'd already signed an executive order on the 30th of August, then you come out and say that, oh, well, they don't want to work with us. These people are damn fools. Salute to Zavon Scott. Much love to you, family. He said Chicago police shake down FBA's down. Oh, excuse me. Chicago police shake FBA's down every day. What he talking about? I don't know. I don't know. He's talking about them illegals. He is talking about the illegals. That's who he's talking about. Those are the people that he's afraid of getting shooken down. My brother Kevin, it's the Church of Black Power, all one word, at gmail.com. He's speaking for his $million immigrants. Exactly. The ones that's buttering the hell out of his bread. Because I believe he's getting some kickbacks from somewhere. That's just my personal belief. But let's let JB here continue with his rhetoric.
Police regularly works with the FBI, the ATF, the DEA to go after gangs and gun runners and drug cartels.
Let me run that back.
Chicago, Cook County, or the state of Illinois. I want to take a moment at the top of my remarks to note how truly extraordinary it is for the federal government to refuse to coordinate with local law enforcement and government. Our state police regularly works with the FBI, the ATF, the DEA to go after gangs and gun runners and drug cartels.
They regularly work with the FBI, DEA, and all this other stuff to go after gangs and all this other stuff, gun runners and all this other stuff, huh? Just not illegals. Oh, I get it. You're willing to work with federal agencies when they're going after citizens, but when it's the illegal aliens, you guys shut all the way down. You guys get to sign in executive orders saying that you will protect Chicagoans. I get it. I get it. Okay, so be it, so be it.
Your previous White House administrations, we regularly received notice and worked together on crime-fighting operations.
You mean the people that opened the floodgates for these people to come in the first place? Of course they would be in cahoots with you. They would be in cahoots with you all damn day. Hey, you know what? Biden told us to give you a call and let you know that we have a issue there that we need to come in and take a look at. But don't worry, we're not going to be, taking them with, you don't have to work with us. This is what's happening behind the scenes, family. The previous White House would give us a call. Yeah, had no problem working with us. And y'all was doing the exact same thing under them times 10. I'm just saying, what would they be doing if they're the ones that caused the problem in the first place? What else would they be doing? You ain't see none of them go in there trying to deport anybody at no point in time. And when they started doing deportations, I didn't see them go into Chicago at all. That's how you got Chicago flips red. You wouldn't have Chicago flips red if the last administration wasn't flooding the zone with all those illegals. I know I'm not wrong in this situation. That was a direct response to you in the previous administration that you just brought up, working together. Let's continue.
This city has hosted major political conventions, flashpoint events like the NATO conference, and huge sports and entertainment gatherings over the years and across many presidential administrations. All those events required significant coordination between all levels of government.
What the hell is throwing an event got to do with working with ICE? Working with that branch of the federal government? You're just tossing out a bunch of nothing burgers. Oh, we worked with the federal government in order to, put on events and, convictions and things like that. All that takes working with the federal government. But that has nothing to do with ICE. And y'all worked with that administration that actually brought the problems. Like, I don't understand why this person would even say this. Look over here in this hand. I'm shaking a rattle. We work with the government, but in this hand, it's only to do a bunch of nonsensical BS that has nothing to do with keeping the Chicago people safe or deporting any of those illegals out of the residential areas of our constituents. That's what he's doing here.
Some, like the Democratic National Convention last year, even required a limited deployment of the Illinois National Guard for broad security purposes, including especially preventing terrorism. For that 4-day event, there were conversations and meetings that began 1 year before the convention between my office, the mayor's office, the county board president's office, CPD, state police, the FBI, the Secret Service, and the Department of Homeland Security. The mayor and I were briefed at the highest levels of government, and we pledged unwavering support in the effort to pull off a convention that kept attendees safe and protected the rights of all citizens to express their First Amendment rights. The convention was a true success because of that collaboration. Fighting crime requires coordination. We have experienced nothing like that over the past several days and weeks.
He keeps bringing up this convention. Family, if you can help me out. I'm having a old nigga brain fart moment, but please help me if you can. Is he talking about that same convention that they had a Planned Parenthood contraceptive tent outside of it, basically trying to get us to abort our babies while they're giving free clothing, housing, food stamps, walking around chains to a bunch of illegals who wasn't supposed to be here? Is that the same convention that they're talking about? Salute to Jamal Rashad. Oh, it is the DNC convention. Okay, I think okay. It must be. So this man talking about, oh, we had to bring out the National Guard for this convention. You had all those presidential, you had that presidential power back in that. You had the president there and you had the vice president there. And all you other DNC lunatics was up in there. Of course, you would bring out the National Guard. Because Chicago don't have or Illinois in itself, probably just didn't have the manpower in order to protect all of those political people. Anyway, let's continue. I'm only going to give a little bit more of what he's saying. Then I'm going to jump over to what Brandon Johnson had to say, because this man here.
On Saturday, the head of the Illinois State Police received a phone call from CBP's chief patrol agent, Gregory Bovino, indicating that ICE would be deploying to Chicago. It's the first outreach we have received from the Trump administration on this topic. Bovino was short on details and long on rhetoric. So in the absence of significant federal coordination, we've gathered information from unauthorized patriotic officials inside the government and from well-sourced reporters about Donald Trump's plan, which is to deploy armed military personnel to the streets of Chicago. I'm aware that the President of the United States likes to go on television and beg me to call and ask him for troops. I find this extraordinarily strange, as Chicago does not want troops on our streets. I also have experience asking the President for assistance, just to have the rug pulled out from underneath me when execution meets reality. I refuse to play a reality game show with Donald Trump again. What I want are the federal dollars that have been promised to Illinois and Chicago for violence prevention programs that have proven to work. That is money that Illinois taxpayers send to the federal government, and it's an insult to any and every citizen to suggest that any governor should have to beg the president of any political party for resources owed their people. I'd like to ask a question of my own, and it's one the press should be asking as well. When did we become a country where it's okay for the US president to insist on national television that a state should call him to beg for anything, especially something we don't want? Have we truly lost all sense of sanity in this nation that we treat this as normal? As I have done since becoming governor, I've been reflecting on my responsibilities to the people of Illinois. And one of those duties is to share with the public exactly what we know. In the coming days, we expect to see what has played out in Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. to happen here in Chicago. First, Donald Trump is positioning armed federal agents and staging military vehicles on federal property, such as the Great Lakes Naval Base. It is likely those agents will be with ICE, Customs and Border Patrol, the Department of Homeland Security.
Oh, see, he's telling us what this is all about for him. He already knows that it's about to go the way of California. They're positioning military on military bases. They're creating new HQs for ICE. So this is all about keeping their little illegals. Salute the modern Renaissance man. Thank you for being here, family. He says, keeping crime, black people consistently pissed, constant systematic racism, BS, fake outrage, etc., is a 5013C gold mine. Yeah, that it is. Even the black church knows. Yep, that's true too. They know this. Keep grinding. Subs had me check you out. Much love to you, family. And I absolutely agree with you. It is a gold mine. I want to get over here. Let me get to this Brandon Johnson dude here, because he already told us what it's about for him. It's about protecting those illegals. That's what they're concerned about. All right, Brandon. Give me one. Let's get you in here.
Under the color of law. What comes next? Now I'd like to turn the podium over to the mayor of the city of Chicago, Brandon Johnson.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon, everyone.
Shalom and salute to our sister, Astarte Jones. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you as always.
Good afternoon. Thank you, President Preckwinkle, Lieutenant Governor Stratton for being here, and our Attorney General Raul, to the members of the press. Today, we stand here united as the state of Illinois, Cook County, and the city of Chicago to send a very clear message. We do not want or need military occupation in our city. We do not want or need militarized immigration enforcement in our city. We have been clear on
that. See, they both just told you exactly what it is. Militarized, he could have just left it at militarized forces in our city, but he didn't. He had to make sure that he said militarized immigration enforcement as well. That's exactly what this is all about for these folks. It's not about really having the military in their cities. Like this dude said, like JB said, it's, you know, they've already worked with federal agencies to bring in the military several times over. Now, let's keep it real. The only difference is what? This time they're targeting their illegal constituencies, their illegal aliens. They're forcing immigration control. Well, that's what the hell they really care about. Absolutely, Cool Keezy. He said had to show off his cape. Absolutely. He took off his tie, opened up his shirt, and exposed the S on his chest. Salute and shalom to our sister Cooking with Miss D in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here.
President Franklin Gold, Lieutenant Governor Stratton for being here, and our Attorney General Raul, to the members of the press. Today we stand here united as the state of Illinois, Cook County, and the city of Chicago to send a very clear message. We do not want or need military occupation in our city. We do not want or need militarized immigration enforcement in our city. We have been clear on that, and we will continue to take every single measure that we can to protect our people from these threats. However, I also want to be clear about this. There are measures that the federal government can take right now to help continue to drive down violence and crime in our city. We need the federal government to stop the endless flow of guns into our state and into our city. Chicago police officers have taken more than 24,000 guns, illegal guns, off the streets of Chicago since I've taken office. Over 24,000 illegal guns taken off the streets of Chicago since I've been in office.
Family, I know this man is not trying to convince all of us, all of you, that Chicago don't have a gun problem at all. And I'm not even just talking about in our neighborhoods. I'm talking about this is the goddamn birthplace of the mob. I don't want to say the birthplace, but dang it, Chicago was birthed by the mob. Chicago is still ran by the mob. Allegedly. And he's trying to make it seem like people are trafficking guns into it. I would need to see some statistical evidence showing that to be true. Hey, that's a good point. He said, well, the illegals are bringing in gun, drugs, and people and everything else. You're absolutely right. That could be, those are your traffickers. You're Cool Keezy, shout out to you, brother. You just hit the nail on the head. So now they're trying to help you get that out of your neighborhood. That's their target goal. Salute the Reparations Nation. How about stopping that illegal flow of illegals? Exactly. And that way you won't have so much drugs. You won't have so much guns because, you know, we do know that a lot of these folks are coming from these, you know, not southern, but Central American gangs and stuff, Trade de Agua and, you know, MS-13 and, you know, I gotta say, it sounds like there's some drug and gun smuggling there to me. Salute to our sister Priscilla Taylor. Chicago was always controlled by the mob. And then the police that used to be torture that used to torture black men. And you're absolutely right. And I believe everything is still ran by the mob. Salute to our sister Felicia Haywood. She said they've been bringing it in, but they've been blaming it on the FBA community. Absolutely. So, Brandon, I'm just saying. Brandon. Right? Something smells foul. Absolutely. You got to check your armpits, Brandon. I know a dirty tether when I smell one because it's so potent. It is very potent.
They have worked hard every single day to make our city safer, and they've made historic progress. However, we will never be able to end gun violence in Chicago as long as the president continues to allow tens of thousands of guns to be trafficked into our state and our city. The vast majority of guns do not come from Chicago. They are not made in Cook County. They are not bought in the state of Illinois. These guns come from red states. They are coming from Indiana. They are coming from Mississippi. They are coming from Louisiana. That is the harsh reality, whether Republicans like it or not. Occupying our city will do nothing to solve this problem. No matter how much work we do or how hard we work, whether it's expanding our detectives bureau, investing in community violence intervention, and addressing the root causes of crime, none of it will ever be enough until the president decides to end the mass trafficking of guns in our city. For every gun that the Chicago Police Department fights to get off the streets, 2 or 3 more new guns come into our city. Chicago will continue to have a violence problem as long as red states continue.
No, Ninja. Tens of thousands illegals. I think the word you're looking for that you need to replace is the word illegals. That is absolute. Come on now. Come on, Brandon. Tiptoeing around the whole problem of the situation.
Continue to have a gun problem. Shootings will continue as long as this presidential administration continues to put politics over people. We have sued Glock over their semi-automatic guns that are easily converted into automatic weapons with switches. We have taken down gun stores in Indiana that illegally sell thousands of guns to traffickers who move them into Chicago. But whatever we
And this was the clip right here that our sister was responding to. Oh, matter of fact, we gonna play her again.
Brandon Johnson, I know you done lost your damn mind.
These guns come from red states. They are coming from Indiana. They are coming from Mississippi. They are coming from Louisiana.
So you mean to tell me you and that no-neck fucker of a governor had the nerve to do a press conference blaming the trafficking of weapons on everybody else but your ass? Are you serious right now? First of all, there was literally a report not even a month ago, if I'm not mistaken, that was talking about that there were 4 juveniles from Indianapolis, Indiana, that were caught trafficking weapons that they get from Chicago. Why in the hell? We all are right by the water. When we know and we've heard about the ratchets and the switches and every other weapon that's used to take our people out that's been found in crates that have been dumped in the alleys of Chicago. Indiana may be a lot of things, but we ain't trafficking no damn weapons from here. We may be a lot of damn things, but we're not trafficking no weapons in here. In fact, it's really weird how strict y'all are on weapons out in Chicago. But y'all got a murder rate out of this world because of weapons. Considering the fact that you have literally fought tooth and nail to allow all of these illegal immigrants, as well as those gangs, what is it, Trey Agla, or whatever the hell they is, Christina Aguilera, I don't know what name it is. Considering the fact that you have fought tooth and nail for these people to be prioritized over the citizens of Chicago, knowing damn well that they had reports last year saying that they was bringing weapons over to this country. You mean to tell me you don't think that that motherfucker's coming right from there? You don't think that people come to Chicago to traffic weapons, people, organs? You really want the world to believe that this don't come from Chicago, one of the most politically corrupt cities in the country. Y'all surpassed New York, which is astounding. I'm telling you, this why I don't trust grown ass men with mohawks, with half hawks. It ain't even a full mohawk, it's a half a hawk. But you got a half a brain to think that society, this country, and the rest of the world is believing the shit that come out of your weird ass face. Pathetic. This has to be, I don't even live in Chicago and I feel bad for y'all when it comes to this mayor. I'd rather see Lori Lightfoot bubble that ass than to see this motherfucker if I lived in Chicago. Worst black mayor in history. I know Harold Washington is rolling over in his damn grave.
Had to play that one more time because that sister cooked them. So we got to cook them twice. This dude right here he's literally, and it's funny to me. He said, look at everybody else, but don't look at me or don't look at my illegals. That's their biggest issue. That is their biggest issue. Don't look at me, and please don't look at my illegals. Look at Indiana. Look, it's these red states. It's the red states. Please don't look at my illegals. Shalom in the B1 salute to our brother Damon Reeves in the building. Much love to you, as well as our sister I Am Kiera. Thank you for being here, my sister. Shalom and peace to you. Yeah, man, this dude is hilarious. All these folks know how to do. Yes, that half a hawk. She said, I would never trust a man with a half a hawk. Oh, man. Oh man, yeah, he just ain't doing too well. They have to just blame everybody. But they're really, and that's it's funny, but it's not funny, because all they're doing is really telling you what this is all really about for them. It's all really about keeping those illegals safe.
Shut down. And whenever we do this, another one pops up. The governor has worked extremely hard to strengthen our gun control laws across our state. And as much as we would like to, we cannot send officers across state lines to stop this problem at the source. We only have jurisdiction over our own city. The governor only has jurisdiction over our state lines. It is the role, more importantly, the responsibility of the federal government and the president to stop the trafficking of weapons across state lines. For every shooting in Chicago, there is a gun trafficker in Mississippi making money. There is a gun trafficker in Louisiana profiting off of our pain. This is a serious problem that has gone on for far too long, and it requires serious solutions.
Salute the cool kid. He said, how old is he running around with that goofy look? You're not Mr. T. And I pity the fool, because I'm pretty sure he be feeling like Mr. T. I'm going to tell you that right now. I bet you this man got 1,000 gold chains that he only wears in the dark at his own house. He doesn't leave the house. Talking about, I pity the fool. I guarantee you. I guarantee it.
He wrote a letter to President Biden after a mass shooting in Chicago 2 years ago, asking for more resources to stop gun violence in our city by deploying federal agents to hold these gun traffickers accountable.
Salute to our brother Reparations Nation. This is a fantastic point. Criminals don't follow laws, dummy, which is I guess that is actually the proper definition of a criminal, someone who don't follow the laws. Gun control laws only hurt law-abiding citizens such as myself. And that's true. Shout out to you, family, because people who are legal to carry, like, the citizens who take the step to get the proper documentation and paperwork to say that they're able to carry, they're the ones that are actually affected by the gun laws, not the people who are breaking the laws in the first place. That's why it never makes sense to me when they say, where they were talking about passing laws, removing stocks, removing extendo clips and all this other stuff. I'm like, why? It doesn't matter. Even if you do all that, these people don't care about the law anyway. They're going to break the law with those guns. So you don't think they're going to take a couple of extra years if they get caught up to have the gun be more efficient for their use? That's just my whole thing about that. Like, it never made sense to me to try to use the laws in order to make the gun laws more tighter. It just didn't make sense. So shout out to my brother for saying that. That is a 100% a great comment. Exactly. America is built on violence. That is 100% true. Man, they can print guns in 3D printers. Absolutely. Absolutely. All they got to do is print all the pieces except for the hammer part, and then put it together. That law ain't doing nothing. Absolutely. It just sounds good to say for a minute until they leave the podium. They don't actually plan on doing anything constructive or effective. And that's the thing. Like I said, these folks are sitting here just on the grand stage. This is all theatrical. This is all political theater, because they already have laws on the books that says that they're a sanctuary city. We know you're not working with any of these people. Shalom and B1. Salute to our sister Black Spider in the house. Much love to you. They don't care. Absolutely. And you can tell they don't care. The only thing that they care about, and they said this time and time again already in this interview here, in this, in what they're saying, if you're listening, they done already told you it's about the illegals. That's all it's about. They want to protect those illegals and make sure that they don't have federal immigration enforcement that overturns everything that they've already done in the city. That's it. That's all.
President Biden responded with more resources and stronger enforcement, and that alone had a significant impact on gun violence in our city.
I truly, truly hate that they keep bringing up President Biden, the person who opened the floodgates in the first damn place. And you ain't never said nothing about it. So, of course, he was funding you. He was shooting you funding for those people. Those are Biden's migrants. He was taking care of them. And as much as I don't rock with Mayor Eric Adams, I got to give it to him. He did at least step up and say something about it. And what did they do? They cut him the hell off. And then put a case on him. So by you sitting here talking about, President Joe Biden gave us better resources and worked with us better, it's because you was taking in his migrants. And you were keeping your mouth closed about it. Exactly, my sister Cooking with Mix D. Biden opened up the pits to hell. That's exactly what Biden did. And that's why they're glorifying him right here. That's why they're glorifying him. Because they really don't want Donald Trump doing what we want him to do, which is get them all up out of here. Salute to our brother Damon Reeves. He says, protect the illegals, but shit on FBAs. Exactly. ABK is coming hard for you. Pause. Brandon Johnson, much love to you, family, all day. All day. And I agree, 100-fold.
We need President Trump to do the same. Instead of using militarized ICE agents to terrify our communities here in Chicago, instead of sending in Border Patrol to our city to detain mothers and fathers who have called Chicago their home for decades, working class people who pay their taxes and make our community stronger, they should direct those resources to taking down gun traffickers so that we can finally put a stop to the violence.
You know what? I absolutely agree. And they should start with the ones that came in under Joe Biden, those illegals that you're harboring. You guys are out here harboring a bunch of fugitives. I don't want him taking the mother, the father. I want him to take the whole family. Take them all, get them all gone. Get them all gone. Get on, everybody move together. But for the most part, if you're telling him go after these gun runners, you're not making a good case for yourself, buddy. Your city is literally being ran by gun runners. Because Trey De La Aguila, they're out there selling their drugs and they selling their guns too. You can bet that. I came across this one clip of this one lady, and I wish I would have kept that clip. It was this Hispanic lady in Chicago, and she was explaining to a reporter how Trey De La Aguila, they like to ride around her neighborhood in the morning, hanging out their windows with guns in their hands. I wish I would have kept that dang clip. But what I'll do is, when I find, I'm going to go look for that clip after this. When I find it, I'm going to put it in my shorts. Because dang it, Even the goddamn Mexicans out there is calling it out. And she sounded illegal because she barely knew how to speak the language, to be honest with you. So she might be an illegal, calling out the illegal and the illegal gangs. But let's let this continue.
If the Chicago Police Department had a fighting chance, we could end gun violence in Chicago. But as long as this president allows hundreds of thousands of guns to come into our city, we will always be fighting an uphill battle. And so our call to the president and to his fellow Republicans who want to weaponize the tragedy of gun violence, the Republicans who want to use the pain of families who have lost loved ones to shootings, and who want to use our city as a punching bag. Our response is that they should get their own house in order before they say anything about the city of Chicago. We have done tremendous work with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF in Chicago. On August 4th, ATF worked with the Chicago Police Department to take 171 guns off the streets in just one action. They took 64 machine gun switches. These are devices that turn guns into automatic weapons, and they are almost always found on the scene of mass shootings in our city. These guns are linked to shootings and homicides in Chicago, going all the way back to 2017, including the killing of a 14-year-old boy. So my question is, why did Trump cut $468 million from ATF's budget in his nasty signature bill? Why did he cut funding for the agency responsible for getting guns off our streets by almost 30%? Why did he cut 1,465 positions from an agency that is so critical to reducing gun violence?
I got a better question for you, Brandon. Why aren't you funding your aldermen so that y'all can actually take care of that problem? Huh, Brandon? I mean, you're asking a lot of good questions. I give you that, but I got a better question for you. Why aren't you working with your own aldermen to take care of the issue? You got plenty of funding for the illegals there. You ain't got enough funding to work with your aldermen to make sure that you got gun control taken care of in your city specifically, because you're not the mayor of every damn city in Illinois, right? I just have to ask the question. Family, I think we're going to end it here with these folks because these people are dumb as hell. I apologize, but it is, because this is all they're trying to do is make excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse as of why they should keep their goddamn aliens. All they're doing is shifting blame shifting for a bunch of people who can't even vote. But who knows, in their cities, they might be out here doing that exact same thing because, you know, we don't know what they're doing. The same way that New York was letting illegals vote, whether in state and local elections or not. It took the Supreme Court to come out and say, hey, you can't do that. So I don't know if they're letting their illegals vote in state and local elections, but all I know is this: they can't vote for you when it comes to you getting into the, well, especially JB Pritzker. You won't get those illegal votes. And hope to God nobody will get them, because they'll get taken the hell up out of here. These people, I want to end with this here. These people want you to literally put your life on the line to help protect people such as this. This woman here left her goddamn baby outside while she was in the store, left her baby outside in a goddamn stroller. Go here, family. Let's go here.
A damn mind. She left her
Go
baby
past this
outside.
light, then at the next one, turn right.
These people out their mind, yo. These people really out their mind. These people, look at this. Whose baby? Is this your baby? Why did you leave this baby outside? Why did you leave this baby outside? Look at my car in the street. Why did you leave this baby outside? No, she don't got it. She don't got it. Somebody could take the baby. She's inside the fucking store. Mommy, listen. The world is loco. You can't do that. No, don't shake my hand. I don't want to shake your hand. Get your baby, yo. Get your baby. Get your baby. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
These are the people that J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson are out here trying to protect, to try to keep them here. I don't, honestly, family, she's an unfit mother. I'm going to be honest with you. Who even knows if she's the mother? It might have been one of those situations that, you know, she used that baby to tiptoe right across the border because the cartel have that little ring running where you can't afford to go across the border. They'll take one of your children and place them with someone else, and then they'll give you a discount. This might be one of those situations because who in the hell leaves their baby outside while you go into a goddamn store? And you could tell she don't speak a lick of English because she turned to the woman in the back of the goddamn counter and looked at her like, what is she saying? I'm going to play that again because I want y'all to see that. She don't speak any English. And it took one of them to tell her what that woman was saying for her to go out there and get the damn baby.
Wait a minute. Is this lady out her damn mind? She left her
Go
baby
past this
outside?
light, then at the next one, turn right.
These people out their mind, yo. These people really out their mind. These people, look at this. Whose baby? Is this your baby? Why did you leave this baby outside?
Notice how she looks at that woman across the goddamn counter? Like, what, Khadisa? Yes. This woman damn sure most likely just crossed the border.
Did you leave this baby outside? Look at my car in the street. Why did you leave this baby outside? No, she don't got it. She don't got it. Somebody could take the baby. She's inside the fucking store. Mommy, listen. The world is loco. You can't do that. No, don't shake my hand. I don't want to shake your hand. Get your baby, yo. Get your baby. Get your baby. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Salute to our sister Black Flower. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. You say them folks put the babies on the boat and let them make it however they can. That's crazy. No, and it's true. And this is my point. This might not even be her goddamn baby. That's why she didn't give a damn about the damn baby being outside. But these are the folks that Brandon and JB are out here trying their hardest to protect. These are the folks that they're out here putting on protests for. Saying, hey, if you want to give us money, but keep your ass out of our city if you're going to go after the illegals. Now, if you want to go after citizens, no problem. We'll let you come after citizens. We'll even work with you to help you get those citizens. But when it comes to our illegals, it's a no for us. And honestly, you couldn't be more loud by saying it. Salute HVAC R. Thank you for being here, family. Third world parenting. Like I said, if it's even her daughter. I'm wondering, it just to be a cell in her brain so I can know what she was thinking when the lady was screaming at her. Because she's smiling as if the lady was sitting here saying the baby cute or something. Like, I don't even understand it. But that's how she was smiling. Look at it, look at that cheese on her face, as if she was saying, "Don't you know how beautiful this baby is? This baby is beautiful. This baby is beautiful." That bitch had to look at the woman across. I did not mean to call her that, but she had to look across the damn counter and Cadice in order to get an inkling of what this woman was saying. I doubt that that's her daughter, and if it is, oh man, may God have mercy on her soul. Family, I don't know about you, but I'm not sad to see people like this go. I'm not sad to see any of those gang members go, the Trey De La Aguas. And I honestly, I wouldn't be sad to see this man go either. If he got deported, I would be happy. I'd be a happy camper. Oh, yeah. 350,000 missing immigrant children. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Just disappeared. Just disappeared. Well, like I said, I told y'all my theory on that. I truly believe some of these politicians was getting kickbacks in order to let that stuff happen. Yep, working with those cartels. I truly believe. But yeah, if I can put together a deportation list of black faces, Brandon Johnson would probably be number 2 on the list. Ilhan Omar would be number 1. What's his name? No, we'll put Candace Owens right after this guy here, and then the Jamaican dude from Florida. I'll put him on there too. Those, if I could see all those people deported. Oh, and Coleman Cruz, he got to go too. He got to go too. If I could see those 5 people deported, then I would. Oh, Westmore too. You're right. Got to toss Westmore on there. See, this list will get long if we really start thinking about all the freaking tethers that need to be deported. Like, this list would get hella long. Drake can be deported anytime anyway, because he's here on work visas. I don't think he's actually a citizen anyway. He's a citizen of Canada. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's put together a list. We can make a list. We can make a list of all the tethers. Throw some in the chat. Name some of the people that should be deported if we could deport anybody at this point in time. We definitely know Westmore is on the list. Definitely know Westmore is on the list. And I'm going to be honest with you. I saw an interview. Myron Gaines. Oh, yeah. Myron would definitely be on the goddamn list, my sister. That is a great dang point. And that is a hell of a picture. Ain't that from Atlanta? Yeah. That is a hell of a picture. Elon Musk. Absolutely. That's a great matter of fact. And I'll go one step further than that. Strip them of all contracts before you deport them. Absolutely, my brother. Mac Bernard. Oh, yeah. That senator from Florida. You absolutely correct. Obama. Yes. Umar. Absolutely. Amanda Seals. Joy Reid. Absolutely. Roland Bowling Ball Martin. Absolutely. Jasmine Crockpot Crockett. Kai Cenat. The whole CBC. You are absolutely right. Officer Tatum Tots. Is Officer Tatum Tot a tether? I thought he was just married to a white woman, and that's why he be playing that role. Is Tyler gone yet? I hope, man. If not, put her on the list too. Akon, Cop Mala, absolutely. Don Lemonade. He is now, huh? The NAACP, yes. All of these people need to go. Deportations. Hey, can't forget about Buster Slimes. Throw Fat Joe on there too. Take Crazy Legs and put them on the list. Do all that. Nicki Minaj, Anton Daniels. Charlize Theron, yes. The whole damn Urban League. Family, we could do this all day. That's my point. We can do this all day. Like a goddamn Captain America film. However, family, I'm going to end by saying this. I believe Brandon Johnson knows that his time is coming to an end. I don't think that he's going to be running for mayor again. I don't think he'll be able to even get that seat again. Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. The Cartier family. Oh, yeah. I'm going to look at that video that they put out because I've been hearing a lot of stuff about them folks right there talking that nonsense about that, not Charlie Kirk, but Nick Fuentes talking nonsense that he was talking about, his talking points. So I'm going to check into that. We might have a breakdown of that coming up soon. The Whole World Star. Shade Room, Michael Blackson. Let me end off here because we got our brother Black Alphas coming up, broadcast coming up. I believe he's not going to be running for office again. I truly believe, because I seen an interview and they asked him, would he be running for office again in 2027? And he said that he will continue to fight for the citizens of Chicago and continue to fight to embetter Chicago, make it better. Family, in that question, he didn't answer the question at all. Shalom and a B1 salute to Casey Malone. Much love to you. He didn't answer the question at all. So I truly believe that he knows that he's not going to have the sway to run again. And if he runs again, I guarantee he knows he's going to lose. I truly think that at the end of the day, everything that these men are doing here is going to be exposed. I believe the kickbacks are going to be exposed. I believe everything, all the agencies that was getting funded, the NOIs that was getting funded in order to take care of these illegals and things like that is going to show at some point that these people were getting kickbacks. That's my humble opinion, family. And honestly, I hope it happens, and I hope there's charges brought up on him because, like I said, this dude's been egging it on for way too long, and by disrespecting our ancestors, by invoking their names and bringing up everybody else's issues, I hope it happens sooner than later. Salute to my sister, FBA Queen in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Family, if you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you hit that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithms. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description, go to change.org and put that signature on the petition for reparations. My brother said orange jumpsuits for all these fools, and I have to 100% agree with you. That's what's needed, and I really can't wait to see the ABK swing around these fools' way. But with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody who's donated, whether by Super Chat, Cash App. I appreciate each and every one of you and your contributions. And family, I'd like to give a special shout out to our brother DSB for gifting. Let me see here. Got 11, 12 memberships. I appreciate you, family. As always, I appreciate your contribution, and much love to the new members. Much love to all my members. Much love to all my mods. Family, with that being said, I will see you back here on Sunday for the first Sunday. And unfortunately, I do not have a guest this Sunday. That's because I didn't know whether or not I was going to make it in time, or whether I was going to have to push the broadcast back. I'm still not sure yet. I won't know until tomorrow. So I didn't want to set something up and then have to change things. So we're going to be talking about another interesting topic this first Sunday. So much love to each and every one of you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for everybody in the chat. And thank you for everybody who's not in the chat. And thank you for everybody who's going to be in the replay game to run it back. But with that being said, family and friends, much love to each and every one of you. Don't let these people play in your face like these two right here tried to do. One signed a bill, then the other one come out talking about the government won't work with them. The feds won't work with them, even though he already signed a bill saying that they wasn't going to work with the feds. Yeah. Don't let them play in your faces, family. But with that being said, family, the doors of the church are now closed. Peace out.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever, can't stand us black people. He's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Us black people going to survive. Yeah. So fuck everybody. I'm off.